Welcome back to Crazy Bill's Garage, and here we are with a filter I didn't think I'd be getting, a Fram Titanium. Hard to get these here in where I live in Canada. To get them shipped here, it cost $1 million. Kidding. Only Canadian millions, which isn't much for US money. But here we are with a Fram Titanium. Let us get a look at it. What is it? It's an FS 4386. Ooh, this feels special. I haven't had one of these in my hand yet, but I see we got the Sure Grip all the way around it. It's kind of nice. Kind of doesn't look like a Fram type opening here to light oil in. Kind of strange, but look at that. Fram Titanium. Oof. Can't wait to get into it and see how well this looks. So let's see what kind of information this filter has. I looked it up. I looked right on the Fram site. I got a cat behind me causing all sorts of trouble. Synthetic blend media. 99% efficiency at greater than 20 microns. Oil change up to 20,000 miles or 32,000 kilometers. Burst pressure, 310 psi. And as you can see, there is a silicone anti-drainback valve. Seems kind of thin through here though. Doesn't seem as thick metal for the base. Well, I can't wait to get it off and take a better look at it. So let us take off this. I'm pretty sure this is rubber seal. Feels pretty rubbery. Yeah, it's pretty rubbery. Oh man, I gotta weigh this thing. So here we go. We got her on grams. Let's put her on here. 235.7 grams. Let us move it over to ounces. That one's not ounces. That one is 8.314 ounces for this filter. Not the heaviest filter, but we'll see how it does, right? Definitely. So let's get that off. Chuck that in the side corner there. And let us get the cutting or the filter opener. Well, it's not really a machine. Tool. The filter opener tool. So there's a lot of good grip. I'm going to give you that. There is a lot of good grip. So far, so good. Oh, now I got a cat behind me in the cat litter. Oh well. Nothing like the smell of a cat going to the washroom while you're opening up an oil filter. Well, this didn't feel as thick as I thought it was going to feel. So, but it was very grippy, I must say. Very, very grippy. So it was easy to hold on to. So let's turn her over. Is there any numbers on here? Let me see. There's the number right there. Nothing of importance, I guess. There's the base. Wow, it does not weigh a lot, I gotta tell you. I gotta turn this thing back on. This is pretty light metal base on here. Am I impressed with it? First in ounces, 2.85. Yeah, 2.85. Let us go over to 80.8 grams. No, it's not very big. Inlet holes, they're nice and big inlet holes. I have to say that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5 threads though. That's kind of nice. There's 5 threads. Wow. But pretty light. One of the lightest ones I think I've ever put in my hand. And a cat who wants to get involved. So now we get to the silicone anti-drainback valve. That is pretty nice. Thin but firm. Hey, we're going to go with that. Thin but firm. That isn't bad at all. filtration media, which it looks exactly like the good old days of the ultra synthetic. That's not very thick. We're going to have to check to see how thick that one is. So, these titaniums are pretty well just an ultra synthetic from old, is what I'm guessing. The case says 44, but the paint on here, I bet this thing is close to 35.35. I'm sure of it. Without this paint on here, there ain't much there. Yeah. 0.45. Can actually see it can actually see an edge of how thick this paint is. This thing is really thin. Like, wow. Some of the thinnest ones I've seen. Okay, be nice, be nice. I'm trying. I don't remember the ultra synthetics being that thin, but they might be. You know what? I haven't touched that. Maybe I get the light. I haven't had the light to look in here for a long time. So I don't have my usual light. So I just got this one. Oop. I see nothing. And there's a reason why I see nothing. Because this is a good old-fashioned one. This couldn't have gone as bad as for me as I could have possibly thought doing a Fram. But it's a Fram. I have a bunch of corrupted data. So I missed out on taking this whole thing apart here. So let me go through it again. What I was going to say about this filter was that it has some sort of a gasket here. Some sort of gasket to stop the flow. Man, my video was so good before. Just doing this over again is not doing it justice. This fit on here, right? There was no light coming through. And it seals very well because it does have a gasket on here. It's pretty nice. Now, I had some big rant and everything in my first one there that my camera decided to corrupt. I'm amazed I actually got the first part of this video. And then all of a sudden, it just was black after that. So, I'm patching into this video, or the last video, and yes, it has a nice seal. It's probably glued on some sort. Feels like a gasket material that you would have a gasket. With that. Now, the rant started with me saying, well, then technically, Fram knows these leak. So they put a seal on there to make sure they don't leak. Technically, right? Why don't they do that with some of their other filters with these metal ends, which I'm glad. Oh, by the way, 31 pleats, by the way. But we'll get to that. And why don't it, like they have Champ Labs, they have metal ends. Put a little gasket on there. I don't care if it's glued on. The pressure will hold it there. It won't leak. But, no, they don't do that. They make you spend more money for these higher-end filters. And hopefully they try to make sure your filter doesn't leak. I like this. I'm not saying it's a terrible filter. It's just Fram knows, in fact, they must know that the metal ends leak with these kind of bypasses. Okay, I'm going to stop there on that. A nice metal tube. The filtration has 31 pleats. Didn't get to see, which I did use super knife. I'll put a little music in. Have my little knife dance around to the music now. Oh, super knife is very, very aggressive right now. Ooh. And yes, the filtration is back, and it cut through this like a champ. Oh man, super knife. And backed with metal, because this is very flimsy. Very, very flimsy. And I guess I have to do the measuring of this filtration again. I think we missed out on that. And we'll do that again. Come on. There we go. On. Now this is pretty thick stuff. So you're going to be like, really? 0.95 millimeters. Almost a millimeter thick. But to me, I'm pretty sure this, I won't show you that yet, this is very easy to flow through. Very easy. And I also showed in the video dual layers, of course, dual layers. And I was also, there, I lost my scale. I showed the weight of how much this weighed. 9.3 grams. Wow. Yeah, 9.3 grams. And this crimp, by the way, that was holding it together, very tight, very nice. It was really well done. And then I measured it out, and it came to 35-inch length, 89 centimeters, or 1 3/4-ish width, and about 4.5, 4.2 or something centimeters, kind of like that. And a rip test, yeah, it rips. There you go, you get to see. And next, I think we're going to, which I already have set up, which I didn't get to yet in my previous video, we're going to put it under the microscope and take a good look at it. So there we go with the outside synthetic glass. I'm sure that's what it is. Look at the outside. Look at all those hairs in there. Well, yeah, they're pretty light colored. It's hard to pick them up on camera, but look at that synthetic glass on the outside of the filter. It looks fine, I guess. I guess the inside is where they're actually going to do any good. So we'll turn it over and take a look at that. And as we can see, the inside of the filter, yeah, you can see that it is probably mixed with some cellulose fiber, mixing it together, which isn't a bad job, really. The glass is on the outside, I'm guessing, and there's more cellulose glass media mix on the inside to give it a much more sturdier, I'm guessing, filtration for the oil to run through. So there we go. I think I covered it well enough in this video after having malfunctions, and I had to come back and re-show you. I hate doing that. It just doesn't, I just don't like doing that. I'll just buy another filter and make a video. That will do it. No, I don't think I could do that either, since, darn. Okay, well, it's half decent filter, I gotta say, at least, especially for having the this gasket type material here, and for the bypass to sit on. They, like I said, they must know there's leaks through there, so they tried to remedy that by this gasket. It's not rubber, but it is soft, and it sits down in there just fine, I'm sure. But yeah, it's just not great, but it's pretty good. It's not great. It's pretty good. I think it would work just fine in any vehicle. I would probably use it myself. You know, I don't really take this size of filter in anything I have, but I would definitely use it if it was in my size. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and tune in for Friday's used oil filter. We're gonna have a lot more Frams for those used filters. Oh yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I got a bunch of them, but you know, things happen. All right, thanks for watching.